Hey guys, so today is Sunday, which means for me, it's water change day. This is probably my most hated fish keeping maintenance thing I have to do, mainly because it's tedious. So I have 6 tanks, not one of them is automated with water changes. It's a long job. But today I'm going to give you an insight into what happens on water change day. So for this, I have 3 main tools. I've got a siphon, there's a gravel vacuum, a bucket, and the towel. Alright, let's get this over with. So the first thing we're going to do is simply take off the lid and take off all my little bits and pieces that cover up all the holes. I used to have 5 coolie loaches, now I have 1. Even though all the holes are covered up, they worked out how to jump out, so just be aware if you've got coolie loaches, it's best to have like a completely closed lid tank, probably like something what I've got on Andromeda's tank, rather than something like this one, where it's got plain sheets of glass with lots of areas that end up making holes. Just to make it a bit less heartbreaking for you. So my fish always seem to know when something's going on because I take the lid off. And they do this. They get very, very excited and think they're getting fed even though they've been fed already. Just a little update on Skylark, which is the one in here with all the fin damage. She's actually really active at the moment. Seems to be doing well. She's eating well. Looks like she's getting some new growth coming through. I'm not sure who the culprit was. I'm going to say it's probably this little bitch, the red one, Ladybird. She acts like the alpha, whether or not she is, I'm not sure, but she is the most aggressive. And I've also noticed that Rosie's got quite a fair bit of tail damage as well, not as extensive. So I'd say that's probably Rosie, that's probably Ladybird as well, which is annoying. One day I'll probably consider separating Rosie, but separating Ladybird, which is this one here. But for now she seems to do alright. It's only the longer finned females that have an issue with her, purely because they're not as fast and they can't get away as quickly, whereas things like Bumblebee, this new one, and Tinny, wherever she's gone, she's looking very strappy and stressed today. With their shorter fins, they're just so much quicker they can get away. So, what we're going to do is get our bucket and try not to suck up any fish. Rosie is very notorious for that. She loves the siphon. She's always trying to get sucked up in it. It's very annoying. One time she almost actually did get sucked up, and it was lucky that I was able to stop the flow quick enough. And then she did it again in like the next 30 seconds of me siphoning. It's very annoying. This one here. So usually with tank maintenance, I'll also do some trimming of the plants, but probably not today because we've got the 2 new, move Ladybird, we've got 2 new bedders in here and I prefer to have it overgrown than sparse. Just to give them some more cover, make them feel a bit more safer. Ladybird, you're in the way today, come on. Move, little one. Thank you. Oh, no, go away. No, no, up yet. Thank you. Oh. This is the bane of my existence. This is the only tank where this happens. Where they just won't get out of the way. Oh no, not you! You're the new one. You can't have bad habits. Come on, move your butt. So just because I'm getting distracted by them swimming near my siphon, I've already filled up a bucket. I'm going to go tip this bucket out. I'm probably going to do just a little bit more on this tank. I don't usually do more than 9 litres, but this area here underneath the log gets a lot of debris and I just want to clean that up. So I'm going to go tip this bucket out and get back to it. No, you're so close, I'm so worried. Bugger off. Go somewhere else. Please. Now I'm afraid that Bumblebee's going to get fucked up. Oh, look at that, all the debris. Pretty sure majority of that is just Pleco poo. Pretty sure. Alrighty. That's actually pretty much all the waste I want to pick up there. So now that I've got half a bucket, I'll probably go over to Andronima's tank. I'm glad that this little breeder box is on an angle because it means that I can actually go a little lower than I'd be comfortable doing, and still Skylark's got some water in there, but I am just going to drop that so she feels a bit more comfortable before I fill up the water again, although she might jump out, we'll see. So next up we've got Andronima's tank, and this is probably the tank I've had the least amount of issues with over the years. It's been absolutely perfect, touch wood. It's currently got 4 pygmy cories, an otto, and my white betta. Pretty sure she's a female. She's got an egg spot. She was sold to me as a female. She's got really, really long fins, but she bites them, which is annoying. So this tank, the main cause of debris is algae, and also just like the branch in here, just shedding a bit. The only issue I have with this tank is that the filter seems to clog up a bit, which is very annoying. So I'll give that a wash today. The one in the sorority tank's doing alright at the moment, so I'll leave that for now and probably do it next week. Alrighty, so I don't like taking too much out of this one. It seems not to really need it, which is handy, makes it a bit easier. But I am going to switch off the filter. There we go. And give this a bit of a rinse. And all the debris just fell off it. Lovely. There we go. Like that. This is just a pretty standard intake. It just gets really gross. It just gets covered up with algae and it doesn't seem to go away. There's a lot of brown algae in here. Yep, I'm going to have to give that a proper scrub in a second. But for that, it's going to get messy, so I'm going to turn the camera off. Alrighty, so I've got this kind of cleaned up. A bit better than it was. I don't like to clean up too much of the algae because the otter eats it. You can't eat it in here, but it helps it spread a bit more, I think. Just going to put that back in. Alrighty. So this tank's a Aqua One Eco Style 47. The only issue I've had with this is that the filter can be a bit loud, so I've actually put some sponge in it to help quieten it a bit, because this actually is in my bedroom. Otherwise it's been fine, no issues. So we've got our new water, dosed it with good old Seachem Prime. If you're looking for a dechlorinator, I definitely recommend this one. This one is my absolute favourite. And now we're going to start filling up Andronima's tank again. So I like to fill this one up first. One, it's a bit lower, so that the bucket's not as heavy to carry. Not as much water going into it as the other tank, so I have to carry the bucket for less amount of time. And I know where the water level is pretty much exactly, because I follow the band around the tank. Whereas with the sorority tank, I like to keep it a bit lower, just because those fish are really good jumpers. So for this, I pour it onto the wooden structure we've got in this tank to help disperse the flow a little bit, but we'll probably still get some debris kicked up. I can't see it from here, but we'll have a look in a second. Yeah, a little bit of debris. Not as bad as sometimes though. So now I'm going to plug the filter back in. If you've got heaps of cords, I highly recommend putting little sticky tape labels on it. Helps a bunch. Alright, that tank's done. Now I've got to refill the sorority. Alrighty, so these guys are all very, very excited. So I tend to like to pour this on the tree trunk to help it disperse. But lately that's been making a big mess, so what I'm actually going to do is pour it slowly just over here where there's not too much down below, and I can actually disrupt the flow with one of the floating plants that I can't pronounce. I'll put it up on the screen. It's rather funny though, because a lot of people say bedders don't like strong flow, but whenever I do this, they swim in it. Alrighty, I'm going to get another bucket. I'm going to raise up Skylark a little bit. I'm planning on keeping her in here just until she's got a bit more growth on her fins, because they were looking pretty shocking. So hopefully that'll only be another couple of weeks or so, we'll see. Alright, time to fill up another bucket. Alrighty, so I've got my next bucket to fill up. I'm actually noticing a little bit of warping. This is a new bucket, so we'll see how it holds up. I might need to get something a bit more heavy duty. Alright, let's fill up the rest of this. Hopefully we've got enough water here and I don't need to do another trip. Usually I don't, but we'll see. Look at them all. I'm so curious about what this is. Just looking up here at Bumblebee, one of the new additions, the yellow koi. I'm actually noticing she's got a bit of like a reflective blue going on in her tail from up here. It's a nice surprise. Oh, this is a slow process. It's a little bit lower than usual, but not by much, so that'll be fine. So we got a bit of debris getting kicked up, but that should all settle pretty soon. Andromed's tank is already settled, which is nice. Alright, so this is my room done. Now to the second living space where all the other fish tanks are. So Puff here lives in a... Let's move some of the stuff out of the way. Lives in a Petworks 45, I think it's called, which is about a 10 gallon. Probably thinking of upgrading him to the 90 litre version of the tank, but I could be moving out at the end of this year, so we'll just see what happens before I go buying more tanks. He's the only inhabitant in this one, except for a couple of pond snails that have snuck their way in. And while he's at this stage, at this size, seems to be okay for short term. We'll see if he needs a bit of an upgrade later on. Comment down below if you've got a goldfish, and let me know what you think about keeping them in pairs. Long term I'm thinking of getting him the 90 litre and maybe getting him a friend, but I've heard mixed things about keeping goldfish in pairs, so let me know if you've done it, or if you've done the research, what you think about it. Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think they're better on their own? Be interesting for me to find out. And if you've got goldfish with other companions, other tank mates, let me know what's worked for you. So far it seems like keeping goldfish for goldfish is probably the best option. But I do wonder, I know with bedders it's not really they don't seem to mind being alone. But with goldfish I feel like they're a little bit more sociable, so I'm not sure what the best option is here. But overall they'd probably still be getting an upgrade in hopefully the near future. But we'll see. We shall see. Now to empty this bucket. So I do the water changes on Puff's tanks separately, purely because his tank's at a different temperature, it's a bit lower than the better tanks and the Guppy tanks. So this has also got a very handy piece of wood that I can direct the flow of water onto. This tank actually has a very handy line that's etched into the back wall of the filter, so you can work out how high to put it up, put the water level up to, which is very handy. Makes it a little bit easier. The other thing I'll do with this tank, which I haven't done today, because he's actually hasn't done it this week, is put the plants back where they're supposed to be. Puff is very notorious at uprooting plants, which I think applies to all goldfish, to be honest. I've actually found that this plant here, but I find it's the best that I've had luck with this goldfish. Otherwise Java moss is also quite nice. Wisteria, he doesn't seem to be attacking it. And I've got some Java fern, but he uproots the Java fern constantly. So, also let me know if you know how to sex goldfish, because I have no idea if Puff is actually a he or a she. That'd be interesting to find out. Alright, on to the next tanks. So the next tank on my list is Arid's tank. Arid is actually, his full name is Eridanus, which I'm probably not pronouncing that right at all. But it's the name of a constellation, which is what I used to call my fish after. My first fish was called Orion, then I had Andromeda, which is a galaxy, and now I've got Arid. So he lives in a flugel chi, the 20-litre version. And I think I actually got the last one from my local pet stores before they stopped stocking them. The only issue I have with this is the filter is awkwardly placed, which is that waterfall feature at the top. The light's not very strong, and it loses a lot of water to evaporation, like a lot. But I mean, it does the job. Very nice to look at. A little bit loud because of the waterfall feature, so I probably wouldn't put it in a bedroom or where someone sleeps. But it's a nifty little tank, and it's a rather nice looking tank. So, that one is also the last one I can do with a siphon. My other two tanks, which is the one next to it, which is originally called the Guppy Tank. It's now got some sparkling gouramis in it, so I'm not sure if that name is accurate anymore. But because it's got guppy fry in it, I don't like using the siphon because I'll probably suck them up. So for this one, I've got my trusty old measuring jug. There we go. I literally just scoop out water, and it's a slow process, but it means I can make sure I'm not sucking up any guppies. Feels nice for now. I've had mixed luck with guppies. I started with 6, 2 males, 4 females, mainly because I wanted to see if I could get them to breed, and then I couldn't stop them from breeding. Sadly, most of them got wiped out by parasites, which was quite heartbreaking for me. So now I've only got one male and one female of the original. The male did get parasites, but he recovered, which was good. Very surprising. I was thought for sure he was going to die. And the orange female, she seemed to be immune. She didn't get sick at all. So, but she is also the one that keeps having babies, even though there's no more males in this tank. Which is a little bit annoying, which is why I've had to make a guppy pond out of a plastic tank outside, a plastic container, which currently doesn't have any guppies in it, but I gave it a test run that seemed to work quite well. I brought those guppies back inside though because I want to sex them and make sure I don't get any more breeding. Alrighty, I'm gonna go tip this tank water out now. If you got any plants, it's a really good idea to use your tank water on the plants. It's absolutely full of all the good yucky stuff, and plants absolutely love it and they grow like mad. So if you got aquariums and you love your plants, reuse the water. It's good. Also, you can help the environment by not wasting too much water. Woo! Alrighty, time to fill these back up and probably make a mess. So this one I try to baffle on the filter itself. A little bit tricky to do, and it usually goes everywhere, but it seems to work okay. This one, probably because it's a smaller tank and there's less inhabitants, doesn't seem to have as much debris that gets kicked up. Which is nice. And the filter's kicking back up now. Make sure the filter's pushing out water again. This one sometimes takes a little bit to start up. I'll check back at that in a moment while we do the guppy tank. So this one's a bit trickier. There's not really a main structure I can put the water on, so I tend to just aim for the floater plants again, or something like the heater or the filter. Alright, I might need to restart the Flugel Chi filter. It doesn't always like to start up nicely. So sometimes what I find helps with this filter is just being on its side. You can actually turn it, and just the flow of the water will sometimes help it. It's starting to bubble now. There we go. That's what you want. So you can actually leave this open. I tend to not, just because it makes a lot of noise. Looks very pretty, but it does make a lot of noise, and I like to study in here, and I don't want to be running to the bathroom every 2 seconds. So I put the lid on. There's also attachments you can get for these where you can put like a pot for plants. I haven't seen those in Australia, but I've seen them online, so fun fact. So the last tank we have to do is also one that I have to use the measuring jug for, because the hospital tank is full of guppy fry at the moment, mainly so I can monitor them and sex them, work out how many males and females I've got, and once I know for sure, whichever I've got the most of will be going into the pond I've got outside, which I also need to top up with some water at the moment. Now the problem with this tank is I have to do a lot of trimming in it because the hornwort grows like mad. Let's see if I can get a decent photo of this. There we go. But I mean, the guppy fry seem to enjoy it, so it's not too much of a concern this week. But maybe midweek I will take some of that out. So all in all, my water changes probably take anywhere between half an hour to maybe an hour and a half, and that just depends on if I'm cleaning filters out, which this week I'm not. They seem to be pretty okay this week. I tend to do filters fortnightly, But it also depends on plant trimming, whether there's a dead fish, which thankfully doesn't happen very often, but sometimes it does, and you've got to sort that out. I tend to find the most amount of dead fish during water changes. You get out of there. Purely because you're focusing on your tank. It's one of the reasons why I haven't planned to make my water changes automated yet, is because it's one of the main times I actually have a look at my tank and see if there's anything that needs work on. So I tend to try and keep my Sunday mornings free, because then I've got the time in case there is anything wrong or anything I need to change. If I want to do any aquascaping and such, I'll do it on a Sunday. But yeah, I mean, automated water changes would make it a lot easier. But it also means I'm not putting as much care and effort into my tanks. So at this stage it's best to just put the hard yards in and make sure everyone's happy and healthy. So now I've got to tip this bucket out and fill up another one. Just make sure there's no dead fish in here while I'm looking. But surprisingly there's not. So far it doesn't look like I've lost any guppy fry, which is both a good thing and a bad thing because I have way too many. It might be worth seeing if my local pet stores are willing to take any of them in. Very pretty though. Got some nice colorations going on. Some of these have actually got purple in them, which is rather nice. Alright, let's go empty the bucket. Alrighty, got our bucket, got our Seachem Prime in it, our dechlorinator, ready to fill this one up. So some tips for water changes, especially if you're like me and have way too many tanks and none of them are automated. Make a schedule and stick to it. So for me that means Sunday mornings. As soon as I'm up, I start my water changes. And look how happy they are, look at them. I think they're being fed. They all go to the top. Guppies are actually quite fun because what you can do is if you do things like this, they get really excited and they think they're being fed or something. It's very entertaining. So other water changing tips would be put a podcast on or some music or something. So I tend to listen to Critical Role when I'm doing my water changes because it's the main time I have to actually listen to it and pay attention. You can also spread out your water changes. I tend to do them all in one day just because I get over and done with. But you could do half and half of your tanks or something like that. Spread it out, make the workload a bit smaller, a bit easier, a bit more manageable. Get the right tools. Get a gravel vac. Makes it so much easier than like doing jugs. Seriously, I mean sometimes you'll have to do the jugs for if you've got fry and such. But majority of the time, gravel vac's the way to go. That's pretty much it. So I hope you enjoyed watching me suffer. Actually it wasn't too bad today. Went a lot quicker since I'm having fun and recording. But give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you like what I'm doing here. Hope it's gave you an insight into the work that goes into water changes. And let me know down in the comments if you're someone like me who has lots of fish tanks, no automated systems. What works for you? How do you do your water changes? Do you break them up? Do you do it all at once? What do you use? What are your tools? Let me know. So thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you guys another time. Bye.